Welcome back, FM Talk 1065 in Mobile mornings, and proud to welcome you to another edition of Law 251 with the local personal injury law firm Tobias and Comer Law. Have Brian Comer, who is a reoccurring guest, I would say, into the studio, but also for the first time with us today from Tobias and Comer Law, Lacey Smith. How are y'all both doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, great.
I'm doing really good, and I've said so many times how much I've learned with Desi and Brian coming in. So, Lacey, I'm sure you have plenty to teach me as well.
Not sure about that, but I'll do my best.
So this month here, coming up in a couple weeks, September 17th, we have Child Passenger Safety Week. Mm-hmm. I know we've talked about this in the past before, and this is close to my heart because I have two children who are in children's seats every time they're in the vehicle with us. But Brian, talk a little bit about why it's so important, not just during Child Passenger Safety Week, but all the time, to make sure you've got everything, got them strapped in right and paying attention to all the rules.
Yeah, absolutely, Dalton. And, you know, and this is something that's near and dear to Lacey and me and Desi. We're all parents, too, and just like a lot of folks listening. And, you know, you want your children to be safe, right? And like we talk about all the time, you can't control who hits you or when or all that. If you knew that, then you could avoid it. And so you want to make sure every time that your child is properly protected in the right seat and all that. But this is a good time as we're getting back into school, getting back into a routine. It's just a good time to kind of hit reset and say, okay, where are we and what is it that we need to be looking at? And with a car seat, there's really three really important things. Number one, you want to make sure that you have the right car seat for your child. And that's typically based on weight or height. Okay, and we've got a really good video that we did last year on our website at tobiascomerlaw.com. And it shows you, you know, what is it that you're looking for on height, on weight, that sort of thing. Once you have the right car seat, you want to make sure it's installed properly. You know, you want to make sure that if it has the anchor strap on the back, that you do have it actually affixed to the car. And then is it the kind that clips into the hooks on the back of the seat, or is it the kind that you put through with a seat belt? And then you get all into is it level and all that. And just you want to make sure that you're following the manufacturer's instructions there. And then lastly, you want to make sure that your child is actually in the seat right. And Lacey and I were talking about that on the way over. You know, sometimes folks, whether it's somebody helping out, a grandparent, somebody, a babysitter, whatever, who is helping out with the kid, and you want to make sure that they have the knowledge of how to put the child in right, because if the belt's loose, it's not going to work quite as well. So you just want to make sure that you inform those folks you're going to be taking your children around too.
Another big thing that I know you guys, not just with children's car seats, but a number of products you've studied over the years, recalls, Lacey. And I'm sure child car seats, that's one of those things where you maybe don't need to be, honed in like a hawk looking at every recall that comes out, but they generally make it pretty well known what items need to be recalled and why they're unsafe. And children's car seats, I can't imagine anything more important to make sure you've got the right version of it in your vehicle, right?
Absolutely, Dalton. And a lot of the car seat manufacturers make it as easy as possible for parents to register. You'll have a specific serial number for your car seat, and that goes to the bigger batch of car seats if there is a recall. So it's really important that you know precisely what car seat you have your child in, and that you are on any sort of mailing list or registration list for certified owners of those car seats, so they can be recalled in the event.
Yes, they can let you know when.
Sure.
So I guess that goes hand in hand with registering, right? Like you just said, whenever I know items I've bought in the past, and it's usually not as important as the kid's car seat, but you'll get the registry thing and you're like, I don't need this. You throw it in the trash. But for something like this,
absolutely,
it's that easy. Right when you buy it, go ahead and register, and then you'll get that information sent directly to you.
Yeah, it takes 2 minutes, and you type in the web address or click through if you get a link with a product or whatever, and just put in your information, because that's how they know who has the car seat and then who to contact. And then if you get the recall notice, do the recall. I mean, that's very important, and I hate that I have to say that, but I mean, That's why they have the recalls there, because there is a problem with it. And a lot of the car seats are safe, and I don't want to make it sound like they're not, but if an issue comes up that the Consumer Product Safety Commission or the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration recognizes, that's how they get the word out and get the products off the market.
Another great thing that you have on your website, TobiasComerLaw.com. By the way, talking with Brian Comer, Lacey Smith from Tobias & Comer for Law 251 today. You have a used car seat safety checklist, which, things are expensive out there, and sometimes you can cut a little cost by getting something that's secondhand, but it doesn't mean that it has to be unsafe. And you guys have a checklist up on the site there, some things to look for. But we've also talked about in the past, and Brian, I think you and I compared it to a football helmet. If there's a car seat that has been in an accident, even if you don't see any visual damage, it's usually the safest thing is to get rid of it, right?
Absolutely, because you don't know, is the webbing on the belt strained? Are the clasps now defective? They might look like they're working, but they're not going to be able to handle the load that's imparted when a wreck happens. I mean, so if the car seat, I don't care how minor it is, if your car has been in a wreck, do not reuse that car seat and get rid of it.
Yeah, I think the bottom line for everyone to understand with regards to any product is the manufacturer is always going to have the most knowledge about that product and its limits and what it can and can't do following an adverse impact or anything like that. So you always want to be knowledgeable of the manufacturer recommendations and certainly follow them.
You guys have any take on, and I know maybe some first-time parents out there listening now, you've got so many different kinds of car seats, and we've been through quite a few ourselves in my family. But the kind that you can keep the same seat from the littlest of age until they're ready for more of a booster seat or maybe even ready to get into the car seat. Is there any real safety difference in those? Or if they're on the shelves now and brand names, they're generally probably pretty safe as long as you follow all the directions?
Yeah, I think that so long as, they can't sell a product that they know is unsafe, right? And so particularly for something like that, there are standards that the CPSC and NHTSA, National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, put out to make sure that these products are safe. And so, do your research, right? Don't, and I don't mean Facebook research. I mean, actually research the product, and see what's best. But again, you want to make sure that you're following the parameters for your child. And those convertible car seats are great. We've used them. We used them with one child, not with a second, and no rhyme or reason for that. Just that was what we did at the time. But so long as you're following the manufacturer's recommendations and have the child in the right seat by age or by height and weight, you should be good.
Some really good tips that you guys have given us here, and I want to also mention, car seat giveaway. Tobias & Comer Law, you guys are always doing so many good things for the community. And another thing you got coming up here, and I guess you'll have the information on your Facebook page. Is that right?
That's right. As Brian said, the start of the school year is kind of a good refresh for everybody. And in that spirit, we are going to do a car seat giveaway. The details will be on our Facebook page on September 7th. And so if you or anybody needs a new car seat, please tell them to visit our Facebook page and sign up for the giveaway. We just look forward to taking a small step to help our community be safer around here.
That is absolutely fantastic. I love everything you guys are doing over there at Tobias & Comer Law. Talked about the website quite a bit, but also on that site, the number for a free consultation 24/7. And Brian, I'm sure you guys, the phone's ringing all the time, but that number 251-432-5001, and it is free, right? Free consultation.
That's right.
All right. Appreciate both of you coming in. Brian, once again, Lacey, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
And hopefully I'll see you here again soon for another edition of Law 251.
All right. Thanks, Dalton.
All right. That does it for Mobile Mornings right here on FM Talk 106.5. Coming up next, The Jeff Poor Show.